Of course we have ambition. If we pretend that we don't have ambition, I think actually we're preventing ourselves from that potential failure. I think it's actually more about cowardice at that point. Like we're afraid to confront our own fears of giving it everything we got. And that's what's causing us to say, oh no, ambition itself is bad. It's actually coming from a place of fear. But where there's the shadow of ambition, where ambition turns dark, is when the ambition supersedes your ethics, right? Like if your ambition is greater than your ethics, then you're willing to do anything to get what you want, right? And if you're willing to do anything to get what you want, then I think you haven't looked carefully at what you really want, which is to be loved, to love yourself. Like because you will never get that if you sacrifice your ethics to get what you think you want. You won't get that. So for me, the ambition was always girded. There was always bumpers on the ambition by an understanding of there's only one way that I could ever actually meet my ambition, and it had to be honestly. So the way that I built on it, I wanted to make sure that every single encounter and transaction, from a transaction with an employee, they're giving me time, I'm giving them money, but what else can I give to make sure that transaction is favorable, that the bank of reciprocity is even, and I will always err on the side of generosity. You know, if they're buying a product, well, they're giving us money, we're giving them a thing. I want to make sure that thing is worth the money they're giving. And if they ever feel like it's not, we actually revolutionized the industry for return policies. Instead of having to fill out some form and send back a receipt that you totally lost and like mail something in, they could just call us up and be like, hey, I didn't like it. I'm like, cool, what's your account number? We'll give you your money back. Like, we wanted to make sure that every different micro transaction we did was in integrity. And if every micro transaction is in integrity, then there's no bounds on where you end up going. And so it allows your ambition to be unbridled. But you have to have it bound by a sense of ethics, and the ethics are bound by a real clear introspection about your desires and what you really want.
I can really hear, like, when you're talking, the passion coming through of creating on it, like, and the work that went into it. With that perspective now, like, what advice would you give to somebody starting their own company, their own brand, their own product? Like, what would you give them?
Love it. If you want to start a company, you better love what you're creating, you know, in a really significant way. Like, that's the most important thing. Like, if you are not the number one fan of your product, you fucked up, because you got to make it. You made it. And if you don't make something that you love, then you made a mistake. You're trying to be clever. Don't try to be clever. Make the thing that you want the very most and that you're going to love the very most. And your passion for that is going to be felt, and it's going to be shared by your audience. And that's like the most important thing I can tell somebody. I mean, I actually admire the intelligence of somebody who's clever enough to create a product that they don't love and sell it. I've never been able to do that, you know, like, I mean, it's not my way, but I'm not going to judge it. If you can do that and you're clever enough to create something that you want nothing to do with, you know, if you're a vegan and you create some new barbecue grill or something like that, like, good for you, you know, like, I think that's awesome, but it's really hard. And at least it's hard for me. And again, maybe it's because I'm just not clever enough, you know, but for me, the thing that makes me intelligent is that I know myself. And if I know myself and I'm honest with myself and I love something, then I know that thing is lovable, because at least I love it.
I just want to take it back to when you first reached that success, or perceived success from other people. And, you know, as an ambitious young man, playing basketball, having ambitions of, you know, becoming whatever you wanted to be, to finally achieving that, how did you manage materialism and buying into sort of what everybody else would have bought into? Is it something that you did at the time? And from that, how do you manage it now? Like, how do you not get attached now? Or if you do get attached now, like, I'd love to know your opinions on it.
one of the things that I'm the most interested in now, and I'm actually looking at to write my next book about, is a clarification of desire. Like, what do you really want? And I've asked that question to myself, what do I really want? If I want a new watch, well, why do I want that new watch? Do I love it because I love the chronography? I love how intricately detailed it is. And is it just beautiful? Okay, I think that's a good reason to buy something. If you really love something because it's beautiful and you love it, great. Same with a car, same with anything else. Like, the allurement to something beautiful that you appreciate, I think is a virtue. But if you're doing it because you're imagining that other people looking at you are gonna think that you're cool, or that you're gonna be able to show off your wealth and it's gonna give you some kind of status, well, that's a game of the ego. That's putting yourself in hierarchy with other people for some advantage. And so what do you really want from that? Well, you want people to approve of you. You want to be loved. You want to be seen. You want something else other than the watch. So, and the watch will never get you what you want. So you're actually trying to fill a need with something external that really you need to look inside and fill internally with your own self-love and your own understanding of your own worth. So when it comes to what I want to buy and what I want to create, it's more of a question of why do I want it and which part of me wants it? And as long as I can answer that question, then let's go. Because again, the world has given me so much. Like, my gratitude towards the world it's an impossible amount to make up for, because the world has been so gracious to me every step of the way. Yeah, I've had my hardships. Yeah, the car accidents and the heartbreaks and the sure, you know, the deaths of people who I was close to, my father, you know, suffering from his mental condition and leaving my ability to interact with him when I was 30. Yeah, all right, sure. But overwhelmingly, it's gratitude. So really a big part of my question about what's next is what does the world want from me? How can I be of greatest service? Because I gotta, you know, it almost feels like I got a debt to repay. I've been given so much.
As many of you know, we are independent creators and filmmakers, but there is a massive attack on us right now. Traditional media over the last few years has started to slowly die. They are no longer the independent voice that you first thought they were. That's why we've created Mulligan Brothers Patreon. We've built something special for our most dedicated supporters, and I want to break it down for you real quick. The supporter tier gets you ad-free early access to both video and audio versions of Mulligan Brothers interviews 24 hours before it goes public. The executive tier gets you everything that a supporter tier gets, plus more. Exclusive interviews and behind the scenes content, walk and talks, daily routines, unreleased interviews, the stuff that you don't see anywhere else. And finally, the executive producer tier. Everything from the supporter tier and the executive tier, plus exclusive perks. Access to our treatment packages. Be the first to see which guests are coming up and get insight into the topics we'll be discussing before anyone else. And you'll even get an executive producer credit on every single documentary that we make. So if you've ever wanted to support the Mulligan Brothers mission of inspiring change so we can go around the world and get these stories that nobody else will, this is exactly how you do it. Go to patreon.com/Mulligan Brothers, or click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. Join the community and help us inspire change.